Live, hell yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to yet another TapDaddyBeats stream. I hope you guys are having a good Thursday. I know I am. And yeah, today we're going to be mixing some beats. Mixing some beats into Ableton Live. I've got two picked out today, and I intentionally just chose two because I think this first one is going to take us a good little while. It's a bit of a project, you know. You guys will see when I show it to you. But first, I want to show you guys what we are listening to. This is my newest release on Spotify. It's a collab that I did with my homie Lauren7. It's called Wires Crossed. And it's an interesting track. I feel like this is just like an interesting kind of genre-bending track. So, if you're trying to catch some TapDaddy, go check me out on platforms. I am TapDaddy on all platforms. I got some hot coffee. Man, I'm ready to dive into this today. Oh, man. But yeah, this is the loop that this song started with. I just kind of like fleshed it out from this. I love how this came out, man. Anyways, we should probably just dive in with the work. I'll let you guys go check it out for yourselves. But yeah, this is actually the 5th collab that Lauren and I have on platforms. So if you like this track, definitely go check it out. Check out our other collabs. I know one other one that we have is in my most popular. Oh yeah, All I Need, number 10 down here. This is another one that we did. But anyways, let's dive into it. Let's get into it. Let's give our first listen through this first track. This one's kind of messy, I'm not gonna lie. It's also a little bit complex. I just have a hunch this one might take a little bit of extra time. So let's give it our first listen through and let's see what we are working with here. Definitely like a new Jawbase type beat. I like it. So yeah, there's just like a lot of small elements in here that we're gonna have to kind of account for. And you know, last time that we were mixing, because this is kind of an issue that I've been kind of working on. I don't know, I haven't felt very confident in my EQing game for a good little while. Last time, you know, and really I guess the problem is that I've got like all of these small elements that kind of come in, come out. Last time, one thing that we did that I think really worked really well was just simply like automating the EQ more, right? When an element comes in, kind of going over to our piano and just automating it to kind of like duck down just for the section that this primary element is playing through, right? And so, I don't know, I think that just kind of helps us maintain a fuller sound while still being able to carve out the spaces that we really need to. So we're going to be doing some of that. Before we go any further, I'm going to delete these tracks that we're not using. So like, you know, trying to keep the workspace tidy here. All right, there we go. And just checking our max peak value, minus 5.37, perfect. I turned it down before stream just to give ourselves plenty of headroom. And we're going to be kind of working our way upwards. So, so anyways, we always like to start at the beginning of the track. Let's start there. Now, I'm gonna kind of thinking ahead, like about the structure. Where do we want things to be leaning? I think this little pluck melody, we're probably gonna want to lean this one way or another, either to the left or the right. It definitely does kind of counter this saxophone that is in the right ear. So that's one thing that we're going to balance it against. It's sporadically in here. Yeah. One other thing that we kind of have balanced against it, we're going to have this vibraphone solo, which is also kind of leaning in the right ear. I'm just kind of thinking, you know, overall we're balancing against this against some things that are a lot more like right heavy. We're trying to, you know, kind of balance it out. Think of it like a scale, like a balancing scale. We're going to try to maybe scoot this over to the left a little bit, see how this feels. And then maybe if we do that, then we can bring this guitar over to the right. See, it's just like one big balancing act. You just kind of make one decision and then the rest kind of starts to fall in line. We'll keep this guy a little bit more center. Yeah, because also we're going to have this over here in this section with these saxophones. Okay. I think I like pretty well as well, like kind of just the leveling of stuff right now. It's feeling pretty balanced. There's nothing that's really sticking out too much. We might bring, like, I know that this trumpet was kind of sticking out, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Yeah. We also might want this guitar to kind of like stick out a little bit more prominently from the mix. It's a little bit mid-range, a little bit. I'm just trying to think if we could kind of give this a little bit of a brighter sheen. It might be able to stick out a little bit more. There's one plugin in particular that I'm kind of thinking of here. It's kind of like an amp emulator that might sound cool. It might not. You see, this is kind of where we're getting into some experimentation. We're just kind of trying things out. This was something that I got from Plugin Alliance. Yeah, it was the Ampeg SVTVR Classic. Let's try this out. This is what it looks like. Yeah, if I switch this ultra high knob, you know, it kind of does a good job of lifting it. We also have this where we can plug it into the bright mode. See, now this is where it's like, we got to kind of think, because we don't want to completely shift it up into that high range. I do like a little bit of that warmth. I think that sticks out pretty nicely. I'm also kind of considering, like, do we want maybe a little bit of a reverb on this to kind of like help lift it out of the track a bit? Well, I guess what it would do is it would like let it sit in the track a little bit more nicely. Now there's one reverb that I use on this guitar all the time. I'm not sure if it's going to be the case here, but we'll find out. It's kind of a chorusy reverb, which is kind of interesting with the steel guitar kind of feel. Let's try it out. This is from Guitar Rig 6 MFX. We'll throw this after this guy. We might do a little bit of compression after this. We'll see. But yeah, it's called Airverb. This is a very chorusy sort of reverb that I think sounds really cool on steel guitar. Yeah, I mean, come on, that's pretty slick. It does make it a little bit louder now, so we're gonna kind of turn this down. God, it might be a bit much with this sort of chorusy reverb. Let's see, is there like, yeah, we could mess with the dry wet a little bit. That might be a better balance, right? Okay, let's set it down a little bit more. I want to compress this a little bit so that the loudness of the pluck and the tail that follows are a little bit closer together. We're going to actually put this down at the beginning of our chain here. This should be pretty cool. So I'm just using just a basic FET compressor. This is the 1176 FET. Pretty simple compressor. It is pretty aggressive. I'm gonna like maybe give it a little bit more attack. Let's go a little bit higher on the ratio. Yeah, we do kind of want this to like really bend in there. I'm increasing the input. That's feeling a lot more full and nice. Sick. This is awesome. I want to just take a look at the EQ of this piano and just see how much space it's kind of taken up here. Might even do a little bit of compression on this piano, just kind of a little bit. Usually, I'll take like an LA2A compressor, which is it's like a tube compressor. It basically, all you need to know about that is it feels really good on mid range. Does really good things to kind of like mid range instruments. So any sort of like chords, Rhodes, you know, whether it's like a rhythm guitar or a piano or something like that, usually pulling out the LA2A compressor, and it sounds awesome. So as you can see here, it's very mid-range. We do have a decent amount up here. We're going to start off with a little smidge of compression here. All right. So here's the LA2A plugin. I'm going to try to give it a little bit more peak reduction. So really what this does is it's like, it's making it feel more full. It's giving it a little bit more body. That really all you can, you know, all it's doing is it gives it a little bit of gain here. It's giving it like 3 decibels of gain. But it's also kind of like bringing the ceiling down by about 3 decibels as well. So it's squishing it. We're raising up the floor. We're bringing down the ceiling. So basically just what that means, though, is, you know, of course, the loudest part of a piano note is the initial hammer on. And the volume difference between the hammer on the note and the resonance that follows, it just gets a little bit, you know, a smaller difference in volume. So overall, this piano feels a little bit more full. We're going to go maybe a little bit lighter. So we don't want to completely smash the dynamics, but... And then we're going to turn this down. It definitely got louder. I think we might want to move this guitar over a little bit further. It seems to move around a lot. That's the chorusy reverb is kind of, it's giving it some weird phasing, like width. Okay. That sounds good. I want to pay attention to this, these drums a little bit. Something cool that I think has been sounding kind of nice on my drums. It doesn't work for every kit, but I want to try it here, just experimentation. I want to do a little bit of tape processing. I like this plugin. It's Oxide Tape Recorder. This is another universal audio plugin. Yeah, both the FET compressor and the LA2A compressors, those are both universal audio plugins. They give them away a lot, by the way, if you're trying to grab them. Just like go check their website every once in a while, maybe sign up for their email list. You'll probably be offered a free plugin at some point. I got this one for free, and I'm kind of surprised. It's a very nice tape processing plugin. So this offers a little bit of compression. Really, though, I just like what it kind of does to the low end, that kick. Kind of brightens it a little bit. And I'm curious, if we do a little bit of LA2A compression on this, follow that up. I'm not a huge fan of that compression. Let's just keep it with this guy. This is sounding pretty good. You know, I'm kind of thinking this flute, what if we did kind of have this flute oscillating around, you know? Sometimes what's difficult when you're like, you know, having a instrument that's constantly moving in the mix is it's kind of hard to balance it against stuff. But the advantage of it is that people's attention gets drawn to movement, you know? Our ears are built in such a way that we perceive movement more than we perceive volume difference, you know? Like we could set it up loud, but quite honestly, sometimes having it moving a little bit draws more attention to it than the actual volume itself. So we might, like, I don't know, I think that this would be kind of cool because it kind of like delays out, and I don't know. Let's give it a try. So it starts in the left over here. Let's just pull out an auto pan. And it's been a while since I've used their auto pan, and I see now they call it auto pan tremolo. Okay, let's go synced. We might straighten this out a little bit before we send it into the auto pan. So without this, you can see it's leaned pretty far left. So let's bring it in a little bit more center. So that's a lot more center. Now we can turn on this auto pan. We might like kind of shift. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. 180. Okay. But they really changed the pan feature here. What I want to do is change, like, basically scoot this pattern over a little bit. Just make it so that it starts in the left ear, moves to the right. What does this do? This feels weird. This is kind of interesting. Now it feels kind of sporadic. I don't know. I kind of like this pattern. I know it's silly, but what would this feel like over here? Not everything you do needs to make sense, right? Oh man, I'm having a good day just working in the studio, drinking coffee. Man, life is good. Might set this guitar more center. It travels a lot. Okay. I want to try a little bit of compression on this string. I am doing a lot of compression on different elements, and I don't know. I'm not trying to like overly smash everything. Really what I'm trying to bring forward is a little bit of flavor. You know, bringing some of the ambience of this track very selectively forward, you know. It's good. But what's up, Maui? How you doing, man? Oh, it's going good, man. We're you got here at a good time. We're just really sinking our teeth into this track, man. Yeah, he says this is a dope beat. You can hear J. Cole on this. Oh, hell yeah, man. Yeah, in my opinion, I feel like this sounds kind of like a new Jabez sort of beat. I don't know if you're familiar with Nujabes, but I've been listening to that guy's music for like well over a decade at this point. He's the guy that did the soundtrack to Samurai Champloo, if you're curious. All right. So yeah, we're going to try a little bit of compression on this guy. This guy's going to be more of an LA2A compressor, I think. Something that's a little bit more of a slower compressor. And yeah, and you can kind of see why. It's like, yeah, we're bringing forward a lot more of that ambience. We're definitely going to set it a little bit further back in the track. There we go. Yeah, I heard Nujabes. Yeah, he says, bro, I love Samurai Champloo. Dude, me too. Me too. You know, it's funny. I actually only found out that he made the music for Samurai Champloo after I had watched Samurai Champloo. The first time that I watched this show, I had no idea that it was Nujabes. I was just getting introduced to Nujabes around that time. And it's funny, I learned about the two independently of each other. You know? Yeah, he says anime and hip-hop, a dope combination. I agree, man. I like it. I really fuck with it. It's good. Let's see. We're gonna also want to do a little bit of this on this flute here, but we're gonna switch over to an FET compressor that's a little bit more aggressive. Yeah. The 1176 FET. We're going to do this before the delays or anything. Might even go kind of hard on the ratio. Really trying to just bring all that ambience forward. We'll probably set this back a little bit more. There we go. What's up, Signature? How's your day going, man? Oh man, we're cooking well today, man. I think this is the one that I made last Saturday, isn't it? I'm not gonna lie, man. This track was a little bit messy, right? So we're kind of in the weeds with quite a bit of a mixing task here, but that's okay. I think I'm gonna be able to pull a really beautiful track out of this, you know? Yeah, I intentionally only grabbed 2 tracks to mix today because I wanted to really give myself some time with this beat. I'm not even sure how easily people are going to be able to rhyme this, and, you know, it might be something that I might pull out for some discography, but we'll find out, you know. What's up, the real Bubba Bubba? How you doing, man? Yeah, it says, when mixing / mastering, do you use a reference track, like some people mention? Yeah, so when I was really learning how to mix, that's when I was really using reference tracks a lot, you know? And I still will when I'm like, especially when I'm like kind of trying to hit a certain mark in a genre that I'm like not too familiar with, right? Then I think it's important. And, you know, also I think it's worth mentioning that when I get hired to mix for artists, sometimes they'll send me a reference track, and it's like, that's actually really good. I think it's very helpful when artists send a reference track that, it's just like, it's a good way of communicating to your mix engineer, like, hey, I really want my vocals specifically, to sound like this, or I want the instrumental to kind of like feel like, like, I don't know, in the past I've used like Wolfpack as a reference track when I'm mixing like neo soul music, right? So sometimes it's like, if you have a specific mark you're trying to hit, then absolutely, I think that it makes a lot of sense. But I think that as I've gotten more confidence in myself as a mix engineer, I'm kind of chasing what I'm hearing, and what I feel like is gonna result in the best sounding track. I feel like I've just gotten a lot more confident in my taste, I guess, over the years, so yeah, I have kind of shied away from reference tracks, but there's still a lot of instances where they still make a lot of sense, right? So that's a good question, though. That's a good question. I would say for anybody trying to learn how to mix, reference tracks are awesome. Just so you can really listen to, like, I want my snare to sound like that. Does it sound like that yet? Yeah, that all makes sense. Hell yeah. Of course, man. Okay, this is where I think we're going to start kind of getting into EQing. Now, last time you guys saw me automate my EQs, and that's something that I really hadn't been doing a lot beforehand. But, quite honestly, I've been, I'm always trying to improve my process, and I feel like one thing that I've been lacking in is just like more sensical EQing. I don't know. I think I'm guilty of kind of mangling some EQs here and there. I really liked the tracks that we mixed last Thursday, where it basically, here's what I did. I left the EQ for like the piano at a straight line here. And rather than like being like, oh, this saxophone, it comes in at wherever at like, 1,000 hertz and making a divot. Instead of doing that, I just automated it such that like every time that sax comes in, it dips down, and then it immediately comes back up to a flat line afterwards. I think by doing that, I'm preserving a lot of the sound. I'm not cutting away unnecessary stuff. And I don't know, I think I've decided I need to start doing more like that. I need to start automating a little bit more heavily in my EQs to kind of preserve the sounds that I'm working with and not just be slicing away indefinitely, right? So I think we're going to start doing that with this track. We're going to start on our EQing process. Let's first of all pull out an EQ. This saxophone is going to be kind of important. And it looks like I'm thinking like between 500 and 1,000 hertz is really where it's going to be important. Let's just double check that. I mean, really, it's this whole kind of range. What we might do is kind of do this more general sweeping. Let's set that back at 0. So let's come in over here, and let's say, yeah, I like it right where the third note is sitting right now at about 1,000. We are going to automate the gain of this. Okay, so setting that at 0 to start with. We're going to say like right up here, and I'm going to give myself a little bit of a tack to it. We're not going to dip down immediately. But yeah, we're going to bring this down like maybe 2-ish decibels right around here. And subtle. Might go a little bit further. And I think as that kind of goes out, we want it to be back up to 0 by like this point. So right here, we're going to be like back up at 0. Ooh, there we go. And we might even kind of like, I don't know, shape this such that this can also kind of be clamped down here. And you shouldn't really notice too much of a difference. See, and then that comes back up and that feels more full. This is much better than just making a static cut, you know, to your EQ, because in between these sax licks, we're going to be really able to feel that body on that piano. Now, let's do that for each of these. We're going to just copy this automation over. So this and this all occurs one step before. So like this. Oh shit. Is this too soon? No, did I? Let's take a look, make sure that I got this lined up right. What do we think of this cue? Maybe give it a little bit more girth to it, because if we look at our saxophone, it's like all of this range. Really, we're trying to like really preserve the lower end of this, but I think that there's some important stuff up here that also makes sense. So we really are just kind of ducking down around 1,000. That's nice. I like it. Okay, let's get that placed in everywhere else that this sax comes in. Show automation. And yeah. Just like this. Nice. Easy, man. I like this. Much smarter ways of EQing, man. Okay. Now this goes through quite a bit of the track. And of course, we're going to probably stack on another EQ for this guy. So the piano is going to get clamped down on it in a couple different ways, but only where in the track it makes sense to clamp down on it. Because I imagine that this trumpet hits a little bit lower, and we'll make sure that we kind of compensate for that. But first, let's just make sure that we get all of these. Okay. Perfect. I know, super fun stuff. There we go. And just a little bit more to go. Okay. Perfect. All right. So yeah, now we got this this automation going all the way through. This is what it's doing. Little automation on our piano EQ, making room for that sax. What's nice is this is going to allow us to bring this piano up ultimately, without burying everything else in the mix. So let's see what else needs to be kind of like, is kind of touching that mid range that this piano is happening in. Okay, and let's see. Probably this trumpet is what I want to fix next. Let's also just kind of take a look at this trumpet. I think we want to set this a little further left. And give it a little bit of compression. We might even back off on the reverb a little bit, because that is quite a big hall reverb. But yeah, we're going to use the LA2A. It's kind of a slower compressor. We're just kind of gelling this together a little bit, normalizing the volume slightly. Okay. Now we can turn this down a little bit. Let's turn the reverb down a smidge. That's much cleaner, right? Let's not be afraid to really set this in the back. Okay. Let's take a look at the EQ on this guy, and we're gonna maybe see if our piano, if maybe we can clear a little bit of space for this guy. Ultimately, this is gonna allow us to turn that piano up in the long run. Ooh, I see a lot of sub stuff that we do not need here. Let's just get rid of this. Okay, where's this mostly important here? It's basically right below 1,000. Now we already have an EQ that is automated, kind of like creating space. And it's got a pretty wide spread here for that sax. What we might do though... Oh, also, I'm not a huge fan of how that lick combines here. See, there's like tiny details in this that I feel like just need to get ironed out. Like I was kind of saying earlier, this track isn't like the cleanest. This is going to be kind of annoying. Better to fix it now. Let's fix these chops. Make sure that they go into each other more nicely. Where was it? Yeah, what's going on here? That sounds much better if we just pull it back to 1. Yeah, that sounds much better than that really aggressive punch. Now, here's the deal, though. We gotta do this all down the track. Okay, because we've already set up a bunch of automations and stuff, we're not going to copy and paste down the track. We're going to literally do this by hand to not screw anything up, right? So we need to look for all of the instances where that little guy happens. We just fixed that guy. It's like you'll see it in these peaks. Oh my gosh. There's another one. But we do have automations right here. Let's make sure we're getting this right. Yeah, that doesn't sound nearly as good. Oh, cool. It keeps the automation. Good. Do we really like this, though? That feels a little bit more natural. Try to really make decisions that make sense for this part of the track specifically. I'm not quite doing this so uniformly. I don't know if this is smart or dumb. I'm just trying to remain objective here. Let's run this back. Sounding good so far. Okay. See, it's like these guys. No, that guy makes sense. It needs to be swung a little bit. That's the issue. Bum bum. That actually felt good. Okay. Okay, cool. It's okay to be really specific about these things, man. Here's another guy over here. See, this guy actually feels pretty good at this point. But that feels a little bit more smoothed over. I don't know, I kind of like the smoothed over feel. So tedious. Here we go. I just am not sure I like how this chop connects. Let's see if this needs to be swung. Yeah, that feels better. I feel like, my mentality when doing this sort of thing is like, this is my last chance to really get this right before I ship it. It's so worth it in the end. That's gonna bug me. Better. Last chance to get it right, guys. You see? All right, let's get back to it. Wow, that was a detour. That was a detour and a half. We were working on this trumpet back here. We've already got... okay. We're just going to go through this section, right? We've already got this sort of thing going on, but let's put another note on there and keep it clamped down, basically. No. No, you know what I think we're gonna do is we are just going to. Yeah, okay. I've got an idea. We're just gonna keep it clamped down through this section with the trumpet. Wait, was that the right area? Yeah, so we have this trumpet, or we have this sax, and then we come in with this trumpet where we want to keep it clamped down in basically the same area of that saxophone. They're both hitting about 1,000 hertz, so we're kind of keeping them separated by putting them in different ears. Yeah, I was right. We're gonna delete these automations to keep this clamped down, basically. And instead of letting up over here, we're gonna move these guys kind of like over here. Yeah. So this is the automation that we're playing with. It's on our piano. Nice. Oh God, we're gonna have to get in with this vibraphone solo. I mean, it sounds half decent now. The real difficult part about this is, so I think to really get this vibraphone to pop and sound glossy, I'm kind of referencing one of my own tracks that I did a while ago called Serendipity, where I had this really beautiful, clean, glossy, you really hear the impact of this vibraphone. But the key is a little bit of OTT on here. But we want to preserve dynamic range. Though these two things kind of work against each other, I'm not going to lie. The right amount is what it needs. And we kind of want to keep this track still a little bit open for vocals, which is kind of laughable with how much instrumentation is jammed in here, but all right, let's try to, we're going to not be afraid to kind of set this back a little bit. Keep it subtle. I think sometimes the really key is to, like, yes, do incorporate a bunch of small details in here and just, like, nuanced stuff. Just keep it subtle. It doesn't have to all be really shoved up to your face. I kind of like, okay, so this is in our left ear, this enters in our right, and it's balanced against this guy that's left. And then this flute goes everywhere. And then we've got this sax in the right ear. I'd like for on the exit of this, for this to travel further to the left. It's heading in that direction. I would like for it to land in, like, further in the left ear while we have this saxophone enter on the right. So we're going to force that to happen. We're just going to make that so. So make it so. All right, let's bring in our utility here. God, I need to fix my utility. All right. But basically, we're just gonna automate this to go even further to the left as we move down here. So like, yeah, we really want it to hit far left. Yeah. Do we want to like touch up the production a little bit here? I mean, I'm working on my own track. I totally have free reign to touch up the production here. What if we just exited on a little bit of a roll here? I'm not sure if this is the note. Boom. Nice. I like this. Okay. It's subtle, but you hear that note, that bottom note. All right, we've just done like a lot of different work. Let's kind of back ourselves out a little bit, give ourselves perspective. And you know, just kind of nudge the levels of things as we see fit, as we listen through the track. If we feel like we need more piano, if we feel like we need less trumpet or whatever, let's just kind of like run through it and try to listen without bias. That's also like, I don't know, I think a mistake I made a lot when I was first really getting into mixing is I would like stare at the kick drum from an inch away from my face and look for problems. And of course, you know, you're always going to find problems when you're looking that close at your music. But that kind of loses perspective though of like what the listeners are hearing. You know, if you can just like sit back and just listen with an unanalytical lens, problems will stick out to you, and that's oftentimes really what you need to be working on. You don't need to be like staring at your kick drum from an inch away from your face, right? So, I don't know. Small rant. All right, let's run it. Already. Here I'm like, don't be so analytical. No, that guitar can come down. I'm going to bring the saxophone a little bit more center. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Scoot these plucks a little bit to the left too. Comes up a bit. changed my mind on the drums. Maybe the piano is a little bit loud. No, I think I had it sitting pretty well. God, this is pretty cool. I like this track, man. Okay, man. You know, I was kind of like, I wasn't feeling too great about this track this morning. I was like, it's kind of messy. It's kind of... But now that we've really gone through it with a fine-tooth comb, oh my God, what a beautiful song. I just really am loving this. We're going to give this a nice curvy fade out. Make it a little bit more full-bodied, you know. But yeah, Tim Williams, how you doing, man? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, man. Okay, 1, 3. And then here comes the real test, which is we're going to start to feed this into a compressor on the master. And that's where we really learn a lot about how this is leveled. I'm kind of looking forward to that. And we're just going to snip this end. Make sure there's nothing else here. Cool. We're good. All right. But yeah, I think this'll run pretty nicely in the master, I imagine. I feel like this is kind of a test of like how well you did mixing. You know, if you do a really good job with the mix, it should be kind of a walk in the park when it comes to the master. Sometimes you start to master and you realize like, oh gosh, I gotta like get my levels better, you know, in the mix, or oh man, you know, those drums are giving me problems or whatever, you know. But we're gonna find out now. Let's pull out our Shadow Hills master compressor, and we're gonna just set this here. All right, and let's just start to clamp down on this track a bit. Now, this might be kind of difficult to get us up to volume because we don't have bass. So we're going to be kind of missing some luffs that would otherwise be there. I see Tim says some people say to start with the limiter. I like to end with my limiter personally. Yeah, from the very beginning. I see. But I always feel so uncomfortable doing that. Yeah, and I guess like the reason why people would say that is so that you're not hearing clipping if you're like producing in the red. But I don't know. What I see happening, because I run a Twitch feedback stream, right? I review a lot of music. And what I see happening with people that produce with the limiter is stuff gets buried in their mix very easily. Because they're just like producing so loudly that when it comes time to mixing, there's nothing they can do that will satisfy them because they're used to hearing their music so slammed into the roof, you know? And so I kind of intentionally avoid it. I think that it sets the right perspective if I like, if it gets too clippy while I'm producing, then I know that I need to give myself more headroom, right? And that can help me be objective in producing in a way that's going to like result in a really good mix. Yeah. But yeah, he says, I find it very hard to balance things because of the compression. Exactly, man. I don't get how people do this, like producing with a limiter on the master. It's like, I don't know. Eventually, you just end up with everything shoved into the ceiling, and then it's hard to make sense of anything. That's my perspective. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Signature. I appreciate you, man. This was kind of a beast of a mix here. Of course, we're not done yet. We still got to hit the master, but the mix is sounding great. So I'm feeling pretty confident going into this master. But let's continue with this and kind of see. So far, hearing this with all this compression on, sounds nice. Sounds lovely, man. Also, I really like these drums. I'm gonna have to use this kit again. Hell yeah. All right, I wanna try a little bit of tape processing here. We do have tape on the drums, which we might opt to do this all on the master, but let's just pull out our Oxide plugin and see what this feels like. Yeah, it's almost too much on that low end kick. No, I like this on the drums. We're gonna skip on the Oxide on this track. Let's go straight for... Oh, there is one other type of saturator that I wanted to play with on this master. This is another one from Universal. They were just giving this away for free. I think it's the 610B is what I'm looking for. Was it this guy or we'll try this against the 610A. Honestly, we might just skip both of these and decide to go straight for a Little Radiator. That Little Radiator does really well on the master, but I'm kind of trying to incorporate more into my what I've got available to me. Ooh, nice and bright. Boy, this already has us up pretty high, though. So this is definitely bringing up the highs. Let's try this with this other guy. I like the 610A, this guy. This is nice. We did boost the highs a little bit. It's got some nice saturation here to kind of give it a little bit more color. And we're gonna be really looking for our max peak volume now, because we're gonna try to bring it close to zero. Yeah, the 610. It's nice, man. It's nice. I feel like this is a good alternative to a little radiator. You see me use a little radiator all the time. I like this though, because it's got a little bit of like analog EQing going on here. So I can like lift these highs in a way that I think is a little bit more satisfying than just slapping an EQ and boosting the highs, right? I don't know. This just feels more interesting to me. A little bit more vibrant compared, like, the way that this is processed, this EQing plus this saturation. It's cool. It's cool, man. I like it. So yeah, minus 2.97. I'll tell you guys what. We're gonna just boost this up to 3 to get it to 0, and we're gonna slap a limiter on the other side of this. There we go. And let's kind of start getting a feel for what our LUFS value is. I'm kind of aiming for like minus 11-ish. So let's bring this all the way back. This is going to be a little bit louder. But yeah, it's more subtle. I agree with that. I think, I don't know, little radiator can get a little out of hand if you let it. Oh man, we're already kind of up there. This is nice. Dude, I'm so loving this track. Oh yeah, Maui, this is too fire. Thank you, man. Oh yeah, I'm really loving how this turned out. We still got like maybe 3 LUFs to go. I think we're gonna let Ozone try to take the wheel. Try to steer us towards that. We're probably gonna completely fuck with whatever it tries to do, but let's do it. This will be our last chance for some EQing before we start to really limit, and that maximizer is gonna help us really lock in the LUFS value that we're looking for and give us a little bit more of like a intensity, I think. So let's, not Imager, Elements. God, I've had this plugin for years and I still use it. And it's just like a basic version of what Ozone is. But yeah, J. Cole or Rick Ross came to mind. Ooh, Rick Ross on this beat would be interesting. Yeah, get him on the phone, dude. Get him on the phone. All right, let's run this. Where do I want to run this? Maybe like over here. Okay, little volume warning. This might jump up in volume, so just wanted to let you guys know. Let's run it. Why Why did it do this? I'm curious. This looks weird to me. I don't know if I like that. I mean, it definitely did some good work. Let's try turning this EQ off and on. I'm kind of thinking like we can kind of clamp down a little bit in this range. I don't mind this. This seems smart. Okay, well, I'm liking the sound of this, so all right, let's run this back. Let's see what LUFS we are sitting at currently. Holy shit, we might have really overshot our LUFS. Hey, as long as it's below 9, I'm happy. Ideally, I would like it closer to 10. God, that's how you know you did a really good job on the mix, is when your master is just like hitting a high LUFS value way too easily. Now it's like, man, if I let this stay up too high, it's gonna stick out in my discography. I can't have that. Don't even like have a bass in this. Usually bass inflates the LUFS values, and without a bass sometimes it's hard to hit the values you're looking for, but this is a good problem to have. Yeah, minus 9.2 LUFS, dude, I feel like that's a little bit intense for a chill hop track. We might knock this down a little bit. I'm kind of hoping for closer to like minus 10. Let's go like this much. Let's go like minus a decibel on the threshold. All right, bringing this back to the beginning, and let's run it again. See if we can bring it closer to minus 10. I think that would be much more appropriate for this track. Yeah, this should be about minus 10, I hope. But yeah, do you always put your kick on minus 6 dB? Saw lots of tutorials when they start leveling mixing. They always put kick on minus 6 dB. So, no, I do not. No, and I think also that might be kind of a weird way to interpret these tutorials. So, I want to like maybe put this idea in your mind that loudness is relative. Loudness is all relative, right? It's all relative to how loud you choose to listen to it, right? So we have no idea how loud that listener is going to be, setting their volume on their device, right? And the only thing that we care about when it comes to like how loud we might set stuff is it clipping? Because also some one-shots of kicks are going to be louder than other one-shots of kicks, right? Some audio of a kick is going to be, peaking at minus 2 dB. Some others are going to be peaking at minus 8 dB. So setting your kick at minus 6 doesn't quite make a whole lot of sense, right? But also, even beyond that, let's say that we're being objective of like, okay, well, we're keeping in mind how loud that kick is, right? And we're just making sure that it's peaking at minus 6 dB. Well, what does that matter when your bass might be different from the last track? Maybe it's hitting in a range that's similar to this kick, so we need to boost this kick up above this bass a little bit more, Or maybe, just minus 6 dB is like wildly way too loud compared to the rest of the track, right? It's all relative. It's all relative to the rest of the track. The only thing that you should really concern yourself with when it comes to like, how loud should I be setting things is it clipping? If it's not clipping, you're golden, right? And then beyond that, what I'm doing when I'm like, going into a session is I'm giving myself headroom. So basically, what you might be seeing in these tutorials is people giving themselves 6 decibels of headroom, basically 6 decibels of room to turn up any one instrument before they start to clip. Now, how much headroom you want before you're heading into a session is entirely subjective. Whether you choose minus 6 decibels of headroom or minus 12 decibels of headrooms is totally up to you, depending on what you feel you might need. And basically, when you're setting your headroom, what I highly recommend you do is preserve the balance that you're working with in the track before you get into anything. Basically, what you want to do is highlight every single track that you have. And let's say that our max peak value, right now our max peak is 0, right? Because we've just smashed it into the ceiling with our master. But let's pretend that our max peak value is like minus or positive 2.3, and we're like, whoa, we're in the red. We want to give ourselves headroom. So what I would do in that situation is I would take everything and I'd click minus 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're below 0. Now we are below the red. Now we are at, our max peak value is minus 0.7. And then beyond that, I go, okay, but I want headroom. I want room to be able to turn up the snare if I need to turn up the snare. So then beyond that, I go, okay, let's do an additional minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decibels of headroom. And, the values at which you might land at is completely arbitrary, right? Completely arbitrary. This right here is minus 10, right? These are my drums up here. So like, whether or not that would be around minus 6 is totally arbitrary. Right now, if we were peaking at minus 2.3 and I just did what I just described, which in essence is turning everything down by minus 9 decibels, that would result in this drum being minus 19 decibels, right? And there's no rhyme or reason to how we got to minus 19. It's just what the track called for. So I hope that explains perfectly, because I do see this a lot of people being like, well, you know, what decibel do you set your snare to or whatever, and it's like, I don't know, man. That's totally up to the track. That's totally dependent on circumstances that no tutorial can give you, basically. You know. But yeah, exactly. Tim's got it right. He says peak values are not relevant. They should only be used as a reference. And even then, it's like, I don't know. All I care about is it clipping and do I have headroom? You know, that's it. You know. Yeah. Yeah, I see Maui say, might have to watch some of your live mixing videos to learn some mixing stuff. Absolutely, man. You know, honestly, I hope you guys are kind of like picking up little things, you know, here and there. Of course, you guys can ask me any question. I'll happily give you my perspective. And I think beyond the tutorials, because I think tutorials give you a lot of really good guidance. Everybody mixes differently, and it's really good to see like how this person does it, how that person does it. But I think beyond the tutorials, and what I hope you guys get from these live mixing sessions is maybe you see me do something that you never thought of. Maybe you wouldn't know to look it up in a tutorial, you know? I think that, you know, it's the same thing for production. I think I learned the most just by watching people produce, watching people mix, and I start to learn things that I wouldn't even know where to begin, you know, searching on YouTube how to come across this stuff, you know. So most tutorials here, they just be yapping. Oh yeah, they're just up here hooting and hollering, man, about some nonsense. No, I'm kidding. That's fair, man. That's fair. Anyways, well, yeah, anybody can put out a mix tutorial. Oh shit, you know what? We got to do our save as. Make sure that we separate this as mix v1. There we go. That way we can always come back to this. But anyways, wow, that was great. We hit like minus 10.2 LUFS, I believe. Dude, that's like so spot on the money of what I was trying to aim for here. We've got one more track that we're trying to mix today, so we're going to start another one from scratch here. Real quick, I'm going to go grab a little bit of coffee, and while I do that, I want to show you guys one of the best mixes I think I've ever done, quite honestly. And it's this track that I just released on Spotify. This is where I feel like this is like one of the best mixes. I personally, I think this is one of the best mixes I've done. But anyways, this one's called Wires Crossed. It's a collab that I did with my homie Lauren 7. He's a Brazilian producer MC. And he does a lot of like plug and B and trap music. And of course, I do a lot of like jazz and boom bap. So this was a really like off the wall collab that is very like genre bending, I would say. And I don't know, I just feel like the mix came out sounding really rich. So I hope you guys enjoy it. You'll have to let me know what you think of it. I'm just going to go heat up some coffee, and then we're going to go dive in to our next mix. So yeah, I'll be 2 seconds. But until then, wires crossed. I hope you enjoy. All right, I am back. Oh, hell yeah. I see you guys saying I love it. Bro, amazing production on this one. Thank you. Oh, man. Yeah, that boom bap sax over these drums. Man, I kind of snapped on these drums. I started following the snare pattern that you hear in plug-in B music, and then I transformed it basically into like a really fast like jazz break. I don't know, man. I had so much fun with this one. And shout out to Lauren as well, man. He makes some really sick music. This is our 5th collab that we've put out together. It's fun. Yeah, very rich. Thank you, Signature. Yeah, I just like, man, I think this is probably the best mix that I currently have on platforms. I don't know. I was very, very happy with how this one turned out. I've got a few more things coming down the pipeline though that might, give this a run for its money. So we'll see. But anyways, before we dive into this last one, just wanted to let you guys know I've got an album coming out soon. It's coming out on March 20th. Coming out in 21 days, 6 hours, 26 minutes, and 12 seconds. So yeah, if you guys want to go drop it a pre-save, you guys know where to find me. I'm TapDaddy on all platforms. But let's go see what this last track is that we are diving into. I forget which one I chose. This is song, I see 1094. I guess we're going to find out together what this one is. So let me just double check that I saved this. Yes, I did. And then let's go grab song 1094. I think it's been a while since I've worked on this one, so I might have to go dig for it. That's all good. Boy, I'm getting up here in the numbers, man. I'm in the 1100s right now. I've just made so much music, man. All right. And let's see. Let it load. Here we go. Yeah, I can't for the life of me remember what beat this was, so we're going to find out together. Song 1000. Oh, it's got to load. I've just got so many project files in this folder. Fun fact, when I first got Ableton and I wasn't sure how to the file structure worked, I saved one of my first project files in Song 13 project folder, okay? And then I continued to keep saving my projects inside the Song 13 project folder. This was 14 years ago, okay? Cut me some slack. But I never changed it, and I didn't want to move all of my project folders over into another folder, so I'm still saving stuff to the Song 13 project folder. I'm a professional dumbass, guys. Just bear with me here. All right. Okay. Loading in to song 1094. Boy, if I ever did load up song 13, I wonder how long it would take it to load just because there's so much shit in its project folder. I don't know, man. Okay. Media files are missing. Let's replace those. All right. It's going to take a little bit of time to find those. But yeah. So I've recently been digging back through a bunch of GameCube games lately. Dude, I was playing Mario Party 6 last night. That shit slaps. Fuck yeah. Probably going to play a little bit more Mario Party after stream. And then I got to dive into legal documents tonight. Reviewing some of my licensing tonight. That's always fun. Gotta love music law. So much fun. All right. Looks like we found everything. Cool. Let's give this our first listen through. See what we're working with. I can't for the life of me remember which beat this is. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Oh, this is a very soulful, wholesome track. All right, let's hear it. go, dude. We're gonna spin some gold with this one. I like it. Let's take a peek at our max peak. 5.55. Guys, we're gonna have to really turn this way the fuck down. So, you know, just like I was describing to Maui here, see, this is where it comes into play, where you set things initially for your project. So this was in the red. Yeah, take us to church with this one. Yeah. 100%, man. Oh, yeah, I'm taking you all to church. Alright, we're going to go ahead and just turn this way the fuck down. Our max peak is positive 5.5. So we're going to turn this down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we are below 0. But we want a little bit of extra room here. So, you know, this is where we want to give ourselves headroom. So let's go a little bit further. We're going to turn this down an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So this is going to be a lot quieter. And if you guys need to turn up your headphones, I encourage it. We start quiet and we build our way up. But really just, I don't know, I'm always turning my volume up and down while I'm mixing. This is the new volume we're at. Okay, I'm going to turn my microphone down so I can level my voice a little bit closer to the track. Sorry to turn stream down on you guys. We're going to make it loud again. But yeah, we going to church? Oh, yes. All right. So, let's start from the beginning, as we always do. So I'm liking how this guitar sounds. I see this was something that I bounced in place. Pastor Tap in the house. Perhaps today, anyways. I actually really want to, because all of this sounds good. This piano, this guitar, that sounds nicely polished. These drums, though, let's dive in with these drums. We got a nice reverb on this rim click. Might turn this up a bit. Okay. The hi-hat on this kick sounds a little bit too much, man. And that hi-hat is attached to this kick. I'll tell you what, we don't want to completely get rid of that hi-hat, but we do want to make it less. We want to bring it down a little bit. What's up, Ethach? How you doing, man? He says, just got off work, but I have some bad news for my Ableton, man. Oh, no. What's going on with your Ableton, dude? What's the bad news? Hanging me in suspense. He says, we are going Linux/Reaper instead of Windows/Ableton. Oh, no, man. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. So, guys, Ethach has been working on a plugin. I was going to test it for him, but they're going Linux Reaper. That's fine. And you know what? That's fine because I'm actually not even Windows. I'm a Mac Ableton user. So we would have hit a snag there anyways. Man, that sucks though. I was really looking forward to. He's working on a dynamic EQ. That sounds super snazzy. It like you were describing that it you can apply different types of compression to different frequency ranges using your plugin. I think that's awesome, man. I still am curious how it's going to turn out. Okay, we're gonna... Yeah, he says, better as a dev for Mac software. I'm still gonna make the plugin. Definitely do, man. I think regardless if it's gonna hit market, you're probably gonna have to do Windows, just because that is like so much of the market. But I agree, it's much easier development-wise to go on Linux. Yeah. It's just much easier to compile things and all that. Okay, so yeah, I think we kind of got this, the hi-hat on the kick a little bit more locked in. Might even go a little lower. Now that we've done that, we've got a nice reverb on this rim click, but I think that what it's missing is a little bit of a room verb on the entire kit. So this is one that I like to use a lot called Lively Resonant. I use this a lot, not only just on drums, but a lot of different instruments. This kind of gives a live room sort of feel, you know, like an open studio space sort of feel. Let's lock this in. There we go. But yeah, he says, don't worry, that's not going away. It's just from weeks for a beta build to like a month or more out. No, I get you on that. He says, I'm mad at Ableton for not offering Linux support. Dude, you should email them. You should email them. So I've been seeing on some of the Ableton subreddits, people have been emailing them and basically saying, hey, I really want Ableton on Linux. And, you know, they basically are keeping tally of how many people ask for Linux support to decide, you know, whether it's worth the development budget to make it available for Linux. So you can kind of cast your vote by emailing their support and saying, hey, just saying I would really love Ableton on Linux. Really hope you guys do that someday. And they'll probably add you to the collection of people that, you know, have also requested Linux Ableton. That's kind of a movement that's going on right now. So yeah, you're not alone in that effort, man. I'm gonna try to like compress this slightly. We're gonna use an LA2A, and we're doing this after all the reverbs and stuff to kind of gel everything together ever so slightly. I'm a little worried about this kick though with its hi-hat, it sounding overly compressed, so we're gonna look out for that. A little bit of compression here, but yeah. Learning a DAW is so scary sounding. Yeah. That's why I just stick to Ableton for decades. This is sounding nice. So I like how this sounds together. What's this down here? Nice little string there. kind of bringing this up a bit. We're kind of like basically just kind of jumping around everywhere, setting the levels before we really get hands-on with our EQing and stuff. And also, you know, spacing. We're going to be paying attention to spacing, but I think everything's pretty well spaced. Might have to take a look at this section. Let's bring these vocals up a bit. The EQing is definitely going to help these kind of stick out. Oh no, Ethach is like, that's it, I'm just going full Suno now. No, we lost a great one today, guys. Rest in peace, Ethach. He's going full Suno. No. But yeah, he says, to be honest, DSP engineering is so painful. My bread and butter is AI scripting. Fair enough, man, fair enough. From a computer science standpoint, I think AI was one of the most fun subjects to learn about, but from a music perspective, I've got such a gripe with all of these AI services, mostly just in that, like, legally speaking, they do not fit in with the industry. They're just kind of like taking all of our music and making millions and millions of dollars off of it without any system to pay out the people that is making them this money, you know? So until that gets fixed, I just like, I don't know, I avoid it at all costs. But like, all they gotta do is license the music that they use to train, right? And then it's like, okay, then we can have conversations about creativity or whether it's, you know, a useful tool or not. It's like, that's fine and all, but until it's got the, you know, licensing in order, it's like, I don't know. I think it's something that I'm like, not sure about it. Okay. I think everything here is sounding pretty good. Basically everything up to this point. Let's get this bass sounding a little bit more buttery. Gonna LA2A. This is gonna like basically this is gonna fatten what this audio signal looks like. Something that I've also been playing with as well. This is going to give it a lot more low end, and we'll see if we like it or not. But this oxide tape processor is also kind of cool. Ooh, this is a very buttery bass, man. Buttery. Might even have to turn that down a little bit. But yeah, I see Ethach was saying, oh yeah, people take AI and shove it where it doesn't fit. Oh, I know. AI art is kind of that way. But there are some cool uses for AI that I really fuck with. Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's endless uses for it, you know, and it's really just the creative spaces that it's I'll say it's only really taboo because they are profiting off of music that they have not actually gone and got permissions to. And it's like, until they license, I refuse to take Suno seriously as, a functioning business within the music industry, right? And I think most people don't. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Maui. Timbaland has completely lost it. Yeah, is completely lost to AI. Yeah, and you know what? Timbo is like, basically, this isn't the first time that Timbo has been exposed to just be a massive grifter, right? I don't know. Basically, he's just so like, you could just throw money at him and he'll promote anything, man. He'll promote scams. He'll promote AI. He'll promote basically anything. He's just shilling for money, basically. That's the gist. It all started with, like, I don't know. There was, at least in, like, because I don't know. He's done a lot of things that have been very questionable. You guys remember that, like, I forget what it was called. It was like the Beats Club or something like that, where basically the whole thing was, if you sign up to be a member, and it's like $300 a month, you get to, like, shop music by him for feedback, and he also considers your music for placements. But basically it came out that everybody that was paying for that program, nobody got placements from it, and it was like just basically a scam. So that, before, like, he started shilling for Suno, that's what he was up to, and he really lost everybody's respect with that. And now it's just like, oh God, what a corny dude. What a corny ass dude. Yeah, Beat Club, yeah. I see Ethad saying, I made a lightweight app that uses Grok API to transcribe your audio to text based off a MIDI input toggle. It's pretty neat. I feel like that's okay. Damn, fair enough, man. Well, also, like, I don't know. Like, I think that there are instances where AI can be useful if it's like a closed box. I think, like, it's really just the generative stuff that raises so many moral questions, right? So specifically, like, I'll give you an example. This is precisely, like, why and how I'm, like, definitely kind of absolutely distancing myself from AI and not supportive of it, right? Which is that I myself make a lot of chill hop, jazz hop, and lo-fi hip hop, right? And that's like how I make my living, right? Is through people listening to said music, right? Now, here comes Suno, and they're scraping all of Spotify, all of YouTube, all of the places where my music is on, right? And then they're using that to generate music that directly competes with my music, right? So technically, people are paying a subscription to Suno that I don't get any money from that, any benefit, from my music being scraped for the purposes of Suno. And then people are generating music, and even, like, submitting AI generated music to our playlist, which we always, deny AI music on our playlist. We very thoroughly vet all of our music, and whatnot, or at least to the best of our abilities, right? And, like, and then it's also, like, so they're, like, taking up space in the lo-fi, chill hop, jazz hop, like, playlisting audience. Now listeners have to sift through so much crap to get to, like, actual artists, right? And also, even on BeatStars, like, there's people, opportunists that are, just churning out beats basically with, like, Suno and trying to sell them, which is, like, so corny. And it directly competes with my music, which was scraped to create said music, right? So that, in a nutshell, is the problem. Now, if Suno was to say, like, hey, we are going to pay you X amount of fee to be to opt in to our our training program. Basically, we'll use your music to train, and we'll pay you back-end royalties every time your music gets used to generate music, and also you will have a stake in the music that is generated, right? So like I see licensing happening at like, okay, when my music is used to generate, that would be a great, I would like to earn some royalties on that. And then also, if my music that, was used to generate a song, if that gets published, I would love at least a fair share of the publishing, right? And, the counter argument to this is, wow, that sounds so convoluted. Like, how the hell would we do this? And it's like, guys, royalty infrastructure is already so convoluted. There's definitely a way to do it. There's definitely a way to do it, right? This is what makes the music industry go round, is licensing and intellectual property, right? So if Suno disregards licensing and intellectual property, then I think it's fair to disregard AI generated music from, the sphere of where, we are making money, and where we, where listeners are as well. Because listeners are also annoyed by generated music. I won't deny that there's probably people that are, enjoying listening to generated music. I personally don't, but anyways, that in a nutshell is the issue that I take with like Suno and Udio. And I do think that there's a chance that one day they'll solve this problem, and they'll, license music that they use and pay back into royalties to the people that makes their company possible. And when that happens, then it's like, okay, I might view them in a very different light, So I'm, I pay attention to people like Top Music Attorney. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she's leading a class action lawsuit against Suno and Udio. And I believe I've even signed up to be a part of it too, because I do want this to happen. I want, I would like for the courts to force them to actually license music, right? So, yeah. But yeah. Yeah, you heard about B Club. Sorry, I'm getting caught up here. Thatch was saying, Timbaland isn't that a boot. Oh yeah, you might be cooked. AI coming for you. Yeah, no, they absolutely are. Yeah, Signature Set brings up a really good point. Also, you can't copyright it. Yes, the Copyright Office has ruled that you can't copyright AI-generated music. Which, if you know anything about the music industry, that carries really big implications for how much you can actually monetize it, right? It's very limited in that factor, right? So people always ask, like, would you sample AI? Would you use AI? And for the time being, it's like, my answer is no, for, the reasons I listed beforehand, but also because you can't copyright it. So that carries a lot of larger implications that could come back to bite you later on down the line. And quite honestly, I have such a system in place right now working with real musicians that are, putting up their music with real licensing that I can very affordably obtain, right? So I'm like totally set in that regard, right? So, but also I fear the day I can't tell if it's AI music or not. Yeah, man. You won't even know when that day comes. That's the scariest part. No, I mean, yeah, there are times where it's like, is this AI? Is it not? And I usually go use Submit Hub's AI checker tool. I find that to be pretty accurate. Submit Hub has a tool that will analyze the music and give you the likelihood that it's AI or partially AI or fully human. It's pretty useful. Can I sample an AI-generated snare? I mean, you can, but your music might be flagged as partially AI by these AI checkers, so I don't know. just like anything, you know, it's a risk that you yourself will have to kind of weigh the pros and cons of it. Anyways, let's dive into this track, man. Oh, such a lovely track. Okay, let's get in with this. I already know this guy. I want the ratio on this to be a lot higher. I even just... put this a little bit further right. This is a nice track. But yeah, what about AI generated code segments? Oh no, my DSP might be cooked. Fair enough. No, I mean, I don't really have issue with it outside of, like, you know, companies using my music, right? If you find a use for AI outside of that, like, I'm not, like, completely closed-minded to it, you know? I'm not oblivious to the fact that people are using AI for a lot of different things at this point to automate their daily tasks, you know, even if it's coding, right? I have heard some, like, horror stories, though, of, like, people, you know, vibe coding a little bit too much until they no longer understand the infrastructure of the code they're working on. I think that there's, like, yeah, still ways that it could kind of come back to bite you when you, like, let it do too much. But I don't know. I think that for every task that you're trying to do, it ultimately depends on, like, what you're doing and how you use it, right? But yeah, there's like 1,000 different ways that it can be super useful. I guess my dad just really discovered, like, AI, and, you know, he's got his own business, and he's, like, finding all these small ways that it's, like, automating tasks for him. And oh man, he's like a kid in a candy shop. You know? Yeah. The vibe code pitfall. Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. Yeah. Yeah, Claude is the one that my dad's, like, really interested in right now. Okay. Oh, and you know what? I kind of have an idea for this synth. We're gonna pull out this little amp plugin to kind of give it a brighter sheen. Yeah, Ampeg. Oops, we're on the wrong track here. We're trying to put this on the Jun. The Jun 6. Ooh, yes, this is exactly what I was kind of looking for. That's, like, very nice and bright. Now it sticks out nicely. Woo! And then we kind of cool it off, and this is where the artist is really laying down some, like, heartfelt lines and stuff. Put more attention on the artist here, and then we'll bring them back in with this little organ walk in. There we go. I love leveling. It's actually my favorite part of mixing. Yo, I feel you, Tim. Honestly, man, the leveling gets you the farthest. It's a great thing to be really fixated on. I'd be so curious what you would cook up on like a rage trap beat. Yeah, I've never really dove into like rage. I've definitely done a decent amount of trap stuff, but I can't say I've really gone into rage. I kind of like some of it though. Like, a lot of the stuff that like Nick Mira makes, I think is really cool. And I love watching him just like go crazy. Like, I love watching Nick Mira just like lock in and spit out some gold. It's really fun to watch. And he makes rage music look really fun, you know? So who knows, man? Maybe one day. It's like not really my style, but I don't know. There are certain aspects of it though that I would probably cannibalize and turn into something else. That's kind of what I did with like Plug and B. I really learned about Plug and B from my homie Lauren that I did Wires Crossed with. And Plug and B is such an interesting, like, I love the sound selection of that genre. The sound selection is so cool. So much of it is like taken from the Purity VST. So I bought Purity just based on my homie's recommendation. One of the best purchases I ever made, quite honestly. But yeah, that's the thing, is I've kind of cannibalized a lot of the sound selection of Purity, and you know, kind of made some stuff that was like really R&B. I made some stuff that was like just kind of like this weird nostalgic vibe for like some kind of jazzy hip-hop stuff. I don't even know how to describe it, but I would just say if you're interested in that sound of like what I did with like Purity and cannibalizing Plug and B, go listen to this EP that I recently released. It's called Night Owl. I don't know. Anyways, I'm ranting now. I'm ranting. But yeah, Tim says, I like hearing people dig into genres that they shouldn't be digging into. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you get a really interesting sound, like hearing Madlib doing trap beats. It's really interesting to hear. Oh man, I'd be curious to see that. I'd be really curious to see Madlib laying down some trap. I don't know, is there a video out there of him doing some trap? All right, I've been very passively mixing this down. I gotta like lock in here. I mean, it's already sounding really clean. I think the only like real automations we're gonna have, like EQ stuff, is gonna be let's pull out our EQ first of all. We're gonna make sure that we get this low end out of the way. Okay. Let's clean the space. Oh yeah, that's sounding a lot more clean. But yeah, he has a full tape on YouTube. Oh, sick. Yeah, let me know if you find that. I might have to check that out later. Okay. Okay, I've got a little bit of an idea. This is gonna help us. Okay, so it's really just this range here, right above 1,000. We're going to say right up here, 0 dB. We're gonna give ourselves a little bit of room to kind of slide into this, but we're gonna automate. this to kind of like drop down. Oops. I said drop down right around here. Maybe about 2-ish decibels, maybe 3. I'll say like 2.5 for now. See what that sounds like. And let's adjust this. Yeah, it's gonna have to come down here. Okay, and then we'll have this bend right back up into place after that. We'll just maybe a little bit of a longer, like slightly longer, just for this note. Bring it right back up to 0. There we go. And basically, anytime that this organ comes in, we're gonna have that just dip down like this. You see, this is the automation on our piano. Perfect, easy. So now let's just get this in anywhere that we have this organ lick. Now, where we had these vocals, we're probably going to have to do something slightly differently here. Because these vocals are really what we're trying to clear house for. So let's start looking at these vocals. Let's start with these oohs. But yeah, I got around to designing the compressor plugin that gets baked into the EQ. Oh, that's sick. I got hella screenshots I gotta send you. Hell yeah, man. That's the most interesting, I think, thing about this EQ that you're developing is the different compression modes. That just seems so interesting, man. Okay. So this is very like mid-range. I see. So let's come into our, we're gonna add in this guy. Yeah. And we're gonna say this is 0. And we're just gonna kind of like slide this down, automation. Because again, we don't want to carve this out throughout the entire track, right? We just want to do this where it makes sense. So like, slide this down, like, we'll do another like 2.5 decibels. I think that's, I don't usually like to go much beyond that. Okay. And as this tapers off, we'll have a longer time that it kind of comes back in. So like by about here, we're going to want that to be back up. Yeah, about like, we'll say like right over here. We want this to be back up to 0. And we want this to kind of like start coming back up. Like, let's find the point. Right around here. So this guy, we'll say like right over here, We'll keep them clamped down to minus 2.5. There we go. Oh, that fits in nicely. I'm going to adjust this. Good stuff, man. So now when we have these ooze, we're gonna copy over this automation. That way we just keep our piano feeling nice and full. We're not doing these static cuts to our EQ. We're just cutting where it makes sense to, in the way that it makes sense to. So let's bring this over. Let's say copy this automation. Paste it over here as well. Okay, and this will probably be a similar, we might even just use that same node over here for this guy, but we'll do that after the fact. Let's get this automation locked in. These guys, bring these over here. Let's see, where did I have these? Like, starting here. Nope. There we go. Woo, that's nice. But yeah, sounds great. Thank you, man. Tim's asking, so does Ableton not have a peak controller you could use in FL Studio? What do you mean by a peak controller? Are you talking like a limiter? Is that maybe what you're talking about? Okay, so we got to do this same automation in this area, and it's going to be kind of difficult because we also have a different automation happening on a different node happening up here with the 3 node. So like, let's go over here. Let's take a peek at this. So yeah, we're carving out room for this organ. But we want to automate, I think on this same, let's just take a look at the EQ right here. See what's going on. It should be the same range as these vocals. Yeah, right down here. Up here you can see. In fact, do we have this set in the most optimal spot? Okay, so yeah, basically we're sitting right in the middle, kind of creating this bell. I might even try to nudge this frequency down a little bit. Re-enable automation. It might be a little bit too far down now. Let's bring it back up, like right around there, around 500. Although, I don't know, it feels like we're getting most of the power around like 300. Let's try clearing down there. Let's try bringing it down to 300. See what this sounds like. Oh, that sounds a little bit clearer. Woo. Okay, now let's get this clamped down over here for this guy. We're going to say this kind of just ducks down like right around here. And we'll do another like 2.5-ish. That's about the range where I feel like we're still hitting a nice balance. Oh my God, get back to where I was working, dude. Where was that? Ah, it was over here in this range. Okay, that's fine. And then we're gonna wanna lift up right over here. Dude, that's sick. Okay, yeah, now let's bring that automation back over to the other area. And we'll kind of reevaluate our leveling. You know, we'll just kind of like listen to our levels, see how we enjoy it. Okay, let's get this set right. I think it was like right here. Yeah. This is so good. Okay, we might turn that down a bit. Might even put a little bit of reverb on this synth. And just kind of like help it be spacious and kind of melt into the track a bit. Solo section for the vocalists, really putting eyes on them. Dude, I think we've got this track pretty squared away, but we still have a little bit more to go. I think what I want to do is a little bit of compression on this piano. We're going to do this before the EQ. Because if we do it after the EQ, it's going to kind of normalize some of the volume changes we're doing. We don't want that. There's kind of like some background that's bringing forward. I don't know if I like that, actually. You hear it anyways. Let's turn this down. It's just part of sampling. Sometimes it, it's not perfect. It's okay. Turn this down a bit. All right, man. We're starting to really lock this in. This is sounding so clean, man. We really did a good job carving out that space. But yeah, Tim's saying another YouTube mixing myth is that if you make an EQ cut or boost, then you must gain stage the volume back to where it was originally. I won't say that you need to gain stage it back to where it was originally, but I will say that it's smart to be weary of, to constantly be gain staging, basically. Because as you apply EQ cuts and as you compress and as you apply saturation, the levels are going to change, right? Now, I think it's valid if a level changes and you decide, I like that level, I like where that's sitting in the mix now. I think that's totally valid, right? But I think the decision to either change it or let it be needs to be addressed, right? I think that what I see sometimes, a pitfall that I see, people that are just starting to learn how to mix, what they've run into is they start throwing compressors on stuff. And what they're hearing is not the compression, but they're hearing that the compressor made it louder because we boosted up the gain in the compressor and then reduced the peaks, right? And maybe what they're actually enjoying is the loudness, right? So I guess in that regard, you get better at this over time. And I think that by kind of matching your gain when you are doing stuff like compression can kind of help eliminate this bias, which I think is smart, especially when you're trying to wrap your mind around what compression sounds like, that's when it can really help. But I think that really it's just, you just want to avoid throwing plugins on your instruments and choosing to keep all of these plugins on your instruments because it is making it louder, when in regards you can just turn up your bass if you'd like the sound of it louder. That is always the best option. If what you are craving is loudness, the number one recommended way to achieve that is by turning up the gain, right? So I don't know. I think that there's a bunch of different ways to look at it, but you're right. You do not have to gain stage things back into place after every small move. You don't have to be exact and super anal about that. You can let a compressor make something louder and go, actually, I like it at this volume, right? But I think that you should be doing that, in regards to you get your compression how you want the compression to sound, and then you reevaluate the loudness of it, right? Because these things change constantly. I feel like I'm always doing 3 steps, and then I regain stage, and then I space things a little bit, and then I regain stage, and then I do some EQing work, and then I regain stage. It's just something that I just it's habit for me at this point, But yeah, Ethan saying dub beat my tap very well done. Thank you, man. Thank you. But yeah, Tim saying, because what if my initial volume was incorrect in the first place? Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm saying is If you like it at a louder volume and a plugin happened to make it louder, then yeah, don't second guess yourself. There's no rule saying you have to set it back to where it was, right? And in regards though, I think like maybe also what helps, avoiding this pitfall like I was talking about of like inflating the volume of something through means that are not just simply turning up the volume, right? I would recommend, like, before you dive in with compression and EQing or even just spacing things, that you level it first so that it's the correct, according to your ears, the correct volume to begin with. And then you go in with compression, and it's okay to like bring things forward and get things sounding right and then set it back if you want to, or to like mess with something like a compressor and then decide afterwards, like, oh, actually this volume that it's hitting at right now, that's the ticket, so it's really like whatever way that you, is getting you the best sound. I think that people get so hung up on their processes sometimes. They start creating all these rules for themselves, and then they start putting themselves in boxes, where they're like, I have to gain match every single time that I compress. And it's like, no, Tim, I think you're right. Like, you don't have to do that. It's okay to say, I like this at a louder volume, Anyways, wow, I am yapping, man. Tim's got me yapping today. I like it. I like ranting at you guys. All right. Are we ready to start compressing on the master? That's the question. I think we're about ready. Yeah. But Streaky told me I must gain stage. Well, okay, you must gain stage, but you don't have to gain match. So, I guess the difference being is gain match just means whatever is the volume previously, after you compress, it must be that exact same volume, right? Gain stage, though, is more like you just evaluate the level of it and ask yourself if it needs to come up or down, right? And so, yeah, I think you should gain stage after you do some work on a certain instrument, Like, I think that's actually solid advice. But gain matching, no, maybe you don't need to gain match exactly, right? That might be a bit too tedious and unnecessary. Yeah. He's like, my bad, bro. You're good, dude. I'm having fun ranting at you, man. It's all good. It's all love, man. All right. But I do think this is sounding good. I just want to hear this last section. I think we're going to pull out the master compressor. I am so proud of that little segment right there and how clean it sounds. I really like the double EQ automation that we have there and how it really lets all three of these instruments come through very nicely. Oh, that is awesome. All right, where's our max peak at? Mine is 8.25. Wow, we got room, dude. We got room. Let's start compressing. And we'll probably do a little bit of saturation and we'll start to nudge it up. All right, so I've got my Shadow Hills Master compressor here. We're going to enable sidechain. Let's get in with the bass and all that. Start adjusting thresholds. We're really clamping on that bass. It's good though. In fact, I think we're gonna turn down this bass a little bit. Keep it a little bit more contemporary. Because also, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little bit of this oxide. This should kind of boost the bass up. We're gonna have to reevaluate things after we do this. But let's just hear what this sounds like with this tape processor on here. Oh, that is a crazy sound in the low end. Oh yeah, then we changed the EQ type. That opened it up nicely. Actually, you know, hey, this is a perfect example, Tim. Like, this definitely did boost the bass, but I'm liking the level that it's at right now, so, you know, we are gonna let it be. I think anyways, let's check our work. This note is crazy. Fact, how much compression do we really have on this? Let's go a little bit more here. See, if we can clamp down on this big note here, we can bring it all up. And then we can just boost this a little bit. Maybe we do let that get a little bit crazy. I kind of like how all-consuming that is. Maybe, aside from that, maybe we actually just boost this top note that's feeling a little bit weak, rather than doing a subtractive EQ on our big, beautiful note. Yes, but then we'll have to turn this down a little bit. Nice, we fixed it. That is awesome. Dude, this plugin right here is awesome. Oxide tape recorder from Universal Audio. Man, that goes nuts. Let's hear what it sounds like in the kind of quieter parts. You know, last time, instead of using Little Radiator, we used the 610 from Universal Audio to saturate and do some analog EQing. Quote-unquote analog EQing, right? I think we'd do that again because it sounded really cool last time. Was that free? So it was. I don't think it is any longer. It was like something that they were giving away over Christmas, basically. Part of one of their holiday promotions. Dude, what I'll tell you this, man. Definitely pay attention to Universal Audio. A couple that they give out for free all the time is this LA2A compressor. It's a tube compressor that sounds amazing on anything mid-range, right? So any piano, guitar, like rhythm guitar, Rhodes keys, like electronic piano. This is a really good compressor. It's simple. It's kind of a slow compressor. It makes the mid-range sound really beautiful. And then if you're looking for something that's a little bit more of a precision tool when it comes to compression, I would recommend this. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, this guy, the 1176 FET. This is another one that Universal Audio gives away a lot, right? This I really love using for vocals. I use this a lot on like guitars. I use this on flutes. Basically anything that I need some tight compression on. That's really cool. And then yeah, this tape processor, I really like this because it's like unlike like RC20. You know, like how RC20 like really makes a bunch of like lo-fi sounds and whatnot. This is like tape processing in the more traditional sense, right? Where it's not trying to create all of these crazy lo-fi sounds. Really what this is doing is kind of like applying a little bit of compression, a little bit of saturation, a little bit of EQ, a little bit of tape reflect here. It's really trying to accurately imitate the feeling of tape, and how it sounds when you run sounds through tape, right? So I really like this. I like to throw this on my master a little bit. And sometimes I'll like throw it on like just the drums or just the bass. And it does really cool things to the low end. Yeah. But yeah, A-Thatch is like, nah, soon you'll be bragging about the Sonic Cafe multi-comp plugin. Okay. Is that what your plugin is called? Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, it's a really expensive plugin, but it's just so vital to my master chain. You gotta get it. No. Hey man, make a plugin that I can't live without. I challenge you to do that. And I'll end up plugging it inadvertently for the rest of my life. I'm sponsored by nobody, by the way, guys. I'm just recommending to you tools that I use all the time. Yeah, Sonic Cafe is the brand. That's a cool name, man. Yeah, it is gonna be $1 bajillion. $1 trillion. Okay, but it's a must-have. Best purchase of my life. $1 bajillion. Man, I got like something in my contact lens. It is bugging me. All right, let's this is sounding great so far. Now let's pull out the 610. I can't remember. Was it the 610A? I think this one sounds really good on masters. Let's say right around here. Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me? That's crazy. Just like a little boost in the highs and a little saturation. This is so vibrant and juicy, man. This was another thing that was free from Universal Audio. This might still be free, by the way. They gave away 2 610 plugins. Dude, this is so good. What the fuck? Do I dare push the highs a little more? Oh, I might do this. This might be a little out of hand, but we'll see. You can kind of hear some of the background though if we boost up. The piano sample is not the cleanest, but we can't do anything about that. I don't think anyways. I could try to close this top a little bit. Let's see if I can do this without completely fucking shit up. I might completely fuck some shit. I think we can get away with this. That kind of helps a little bit, and we're not removing anything of value right here. This definitely makes it way too noticeable, though. We could make a stylistic choice and just say, no, we like that you can kind of hear a bleeding of something. This is sampling, man. I don't know. The question is this going to bug me from now until eternity? We're gonna try to cover it. Compromises, man. We could compromise even harder. Now this is a little bit closed off, but we get a lot less of that bleed. God, that's gonna so bug me. It's noticeable no matter what. There's no way we're gonna clean that. So let's just focus on getting the best result we can. Okay, let's make sure we're below peak. God, I'm really vibing with this song, man. This master is coming together so nicely. We're gonna hit like 10 LUFs easily. It might even go overboard once we feed it through our maximizer. As long as it's below 9, but I'd really rather dial it into 10. I love how other people have the problem of they can't reach their LUFS value. I have the problem of I always overshoot it now. Oh, we gotta roll off this fade out. There we go. Nice slope on our fade out. I like that. Okay. Max peak value of minus 0.84. We are going to feed it 0.8 and just slap a limiter on the other side of that and get a sense of where our LUFS value is right now before we feed it into our maximizer. So let's do this. We're going to utility and set it to 0.8. And we're going to just slap a limiter on the other side just to catch anything that might pop over the ceiling. There we go. And let's get our loudness meter. And let's see where we're at. I assume we're decently high up there. Yeah. Control, click, and drag. You probably already knew that. Oh, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the slope curves that they have that you can... Oh, you know, like on the clips that you're talking about? Yeah, I like drawing in my slopes. Because the shape of my slopes that I prefer are slightly different than what Ableton does. Wow, we actually have a long ways to go. I was talking shit earlier. I was talking mad shit. No, we got a long ways to go. Why is this so, like, low in our LUFS values? This isn't even reaching. That's okay. Our maximizer will help us do it there. But yeah, you bad boy for that. Nah, dude, I just like, okay, what I don't like, I'll show you exactly what it is. Their slope goes yoink, and then it goes yoink. It has a slope outwards, so we end up with this tail where you can barely hear anything. I don't like that. I want it to come straight down to 0. I want the top to be sloped. I want the bottom to be straight. So that's why I don't use the shapes that they give you in Ableton, you know? What's up, Zashawn Malcolm? How you doing, man? Yeah, it says consistency crazy. It just bumped into you. Hey, welcome on in, dude. Thank you, man. I take that as high praise, man. I try to be. I don't know. Sometimes I have tracks that I like wince at when I hear them and I go, oh, I wish I could go back with this knowledge, but it's all a process, man. See, if I use that shape, we'd basically hear nothing by now. And then, but you see, the way that I do it, you still hear it, like, in this last second. And then it's out, you know. So there's a reason why I do that. Anyways, our LUFS value, minus 19.3. Dude, we got a long ways to go. Let's get our maximizer in here, we might need to like compress these drums a little bit more. I don't want to just slap a limiter on the drums. I feel like that sometimes is not quite the... I would rather soft clip than limit. Let's try this. Limiter, but we're going to do soft clip instead. This isn't so atrocious. We can get away with this. So here's what we need to do now. Is we need to figure out where we are peaking at now that... So we're going to turn off this guy, and this guy. And see if we have more room to turn it up. Boy, it's 4 o'clock. We're going a little bit over on this session, which is crazy. We only mixed 2 today. That's okay. It's a good stream, man. Ooh, this is so soulful. Yeah, I think we did save ourselves a little bit of room there. That's going to help us start at a better place before we start feeding into our maximizer. It should be good. Alright, and let's see in this last section if our max peak jumps up, but I don't think it will. Okay, yeah, minus 1.58. We saved ourselves like 0.8 decibels. Nice. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. We're going to actually shove this up to like 1.6, basically. Limit on the other side of it to capture anything that might go over. And now we'll measure our LUFS. Might just go straight into our maximizer. I'm kind of eager to get there. Yeah, let's just go ahead and start maximizing a bit. Holy shit, yo! It's Sean, dude! Oh my god, thank you so much, man! Dude, Damn, I'm not used to receiving tips on this stream. He says, definitely gonna study, been learning, paying it forward. Hey, thank you so much. That actually really helps, man. He says, thanks, this beat rock, no bull. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you so much, man. Dude, you just made my entire week. That's awesome, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Oh, man. God damn, that really helps me hit my YouTube payout, quite honestly. I've been really waiting. It's been a slog. I think you just put me over, man. So thank you. Thanks to you, I actually hit my YouTube payout this month. This channel has been a real work in progress, you know, kind of a labor of love, but I love doing this stuff, man. I love making music in front of you guys. I love just having a place to publish music and connect with rappers, and I don't know. It's been really rewarding in its own ways. I know it's kind of a small channel, but it's like it's so rewarding. And I don't know. That definitely helps, man. I appreciate it. All right. We're going to finish this out strong, man. Man. The energy on this track and in this room is good. Let's see. We're gonna go pull out Ozone. All right. And we're gonna run it somewhere around here. Mars, what's up, dude? Says, you like doing what in front of us? Whoa, dude. I like making music in front of you guys. What did you hear? You dog. Get your head out of the gutter. You guys. Woo. All right. Boy, hearing that reverb fade is like magical. It's like the end of a movie. All right. So we're going to run this, and just a little volume warning. This might jump up, so just protect your ears, you know. I just like to warn you guys anytime that the volume of the stream might kind of jump, right? So just warning you guys. We're going to run it right now. Let's do it. Run it on high. And here we go. Woo! This is sounding good. What did it do? Let's find out. I'll turn up my mic a little bit too. All right, here we go. Sorry, stream just got so much louder. Ooh, this is exactly what I was hoping for. Guys, okay, so I usually go and, you know, Ozone, it does its thing. It tries to set things as nicely as it thinks it can, right? But I usually have to go way more. I hate that. Just like, my ears. I warned you, man. I'm trying to help save your guys' hearing. This is just how it is in sessions, you know. We start quietly and we work our way up really loudly, right? So basically, though, usually have to go fuck with the EQ a lot, right? But this is exactly what I like to see. A little lift in the high, a little lift in the lows. Everything is balanced, though. Everything is really balanced. This tells me that I probably, you know, like, this to me just confirms what I already know, which is we have a really full and even sounding mix. I don't think I'm going to want to mess with that. Let's kind of A/B test it, though. So subtle, but it's like, I like what it's doing here. All right, now, and this sounds pretty clean. We'll have to take a look at our, it looks like we're rocking around 10 LUFS. That's kind of our goal. I'm kind of hoping for at least minus 11. So let's run this through and let's see where our LUFS lands at. We're hoping for at least minus 11. I'll accept as low as minus 11.5 and no louder than 10. So let's hear it. I think we may have gotten here. I think we may have done it. Oh, man. Woo. Dude, this looks like it's gonna be perfect. Ethan says, Mr. Tap, what have you heard about Reaper? I've heard from Ben Jordan that it's probably the best free DAW. And it's a little bit weird, but it's probably the most functionally nice DAW that is in the free tier, technically. So I can only tell you what I've heard of it because I haven't really used it. But if I had no money for a DAW and I was looking for a free option, I think Reaper would probably be my choice based on what I've heard. So I hope that answers your question. Dude, I've been on such a roll with these mixes. Last week we had nothing but incredible mixes, and I feel like this week we also hit nothing but incredible mixes. And I would say it has to do with the changes in how we've been EQing, how I've been EQing with automations. Just run back, make sure that we got these. Yeah. Oh shit, I didn't look at the LUFS. Let's run it again. Sorry. I just panicked for a second thinking that the automation got picked off, So yeah, it's $60 for a license. That's a AAA game. Yeah. I've heard that there's a free tier to it that's basically unlimited. That you, I'm not the most versed. I don't really use Reaper, but I've heard that it's technically free. But there is a license you can buy for it. I don't know. You guys might have to correct me. All right, we're listening to this one more time. I think our LUFs were perfect. It was looking like minus 10.5. But man, I guess while we hear this last one, we gotta do our little save live set as to make sure that we got this as a mix V1. And man, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out on this stream. We got some really tedious beats that we mixed today. We only mixed 2 today. We usually do 3. But we're already over like 15 minutes. We really put the work in on these mixes, and I think it really shows, man. Came out amazing, both of these. Woo. All right, let's hope that it saves in time for the end so we can see our LUFs. I know it's still recording it underneath all this. There we go. It's at minus 10.5. I think that's about where we're gonna finish. We'll see what it lands on. Man, this track is just so magical. Nice. Yeah, it's looking like minus 10.5. Dude, that is so golden. Let's go. Minus 10.4. Ooh. Guys, holy crap. This was a good stream. This was a really good stream. Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you, Ethatch. Thank you, Mars. Thank you especially to Zishan. I really appreciate the support, the tip, and just thanks for enjoying my channel, man. I really appreciate it. Who else did we have in stream? Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Who did we have? Signature was in here, of course. Yeah, thank you, Signature. Thank you, Maui. Who else did we have? The Real Bubba. Thank you so much, man. And to everybody that's just been lurking, I really appreciate all of you guys as well. We're going to be live on Saturday, just making some beats. I do Saturday morning cookups every Saturday. So definitely come through this Saturday, if you want to see these beats get made rather than me yapping about mixing and all that crap. Come through. It's going to be a really fun time. And yeah, it should be dope. Also, just wanted to put this out here. Guys, I've got an album coming out March 20th. Return to Earth drops. Where is the countdown page? Here's the countdown page. So yeah, if you guys want to drop it a pre-save, I'm just going to leave this in chat for anybody that might be interested, and no worries at all if not. So, but yeah, TapDaddy on Spotify or on any platform. You guys can find me there. And of course, last but not least, TapDaddyBeats.beatstars.com if you want to rhyme anything that you hear here on stream. These all make it to BeatStars. So here, I'll just drop you guys a link to the BeatStars as well. So thank you guys so much. I will see you guys next time, man. Let's go. There's the BeatStars. All right. Thank you guys so much. My name is TapDaddy, and until next time, happy producing, happy mixing. I will see you guys then. Peace out.